Meet ICLEI, a nonprofit, private foundation dedicated to helping your mayor implement all of his promises. Originally known as the International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives, ICLEI, today the group just likes to call itself ICLEI, Local Governments for Sustainability. Now, many Americans ask how dangerous international policies can suddenly turn up in a state or a local government, all seemingly uniform to those in other communities across the nation or around the globe. The answer: groups like ICLEI. In 1992, ICLEI was one of the groups that instrumental in creating Agenda 21. The group has made its mission to push local communities to regulate the environment, and it's having a tremendous success. According to a report published by the Capital Research Center, ICLEI is now operating in more than 400 cities in 48 states, except Hawaii and South Dakota. The group is shooting for 1,000 member cities in the next 3 years. ICLEI is there to assure that the mayors keep their promises and meet their goals. Climate change, of course, is the ICLEI mantra. ICLEI's programs are designed to decrease each city's carbon footprint. That can be costly to the taxpayers. But mayors who sign promises on UN documents to ban at least 3 valuable commodities per year apparently love them. Here are just some of the programs ICLEI provides cities and towns in order to spread their own particular political agenda in the name of community services. They include software products and associated training to help set the goals of greenhouse reductions, access to a network of experts, newsletters, conferences, and workshops to help to assure the indoctrination of city employees is complete. Toolkits, online resources, case studies, fact sheets, policy and practice manuals, and blueprints used by other communities so you know you're not alone. Training workshops for staff and elected officials on how to develop and implement the programs. Do you want to bet that they never seem to mention in those workshops that thousands of scientists around the world now say man-made global warming is a myth and none of these programs are necessary? Probably doesn't make it into the workshop. And there's technical assistance in designing and implementing the programs. Relevant grant opportunities. This is the important one. Money with severe strings attached. And finally, important to the mayors, assistance in publicizing local climate protection successes. They get awards for that stuff here. As the Capital Research Center's report says, local governments gratefully outsource their work to ICLEI, which even offers hiring advice. The group recommends that cities hire a sustainability manager to coordinate an interdepartmental green team representing city administrative, public works, environment facilities, budget, economic development, planning, social services, park agencies, to share the ideas about how to improve internal operations and make them more consistent for environmentally sound practices. A full-time sustainability manager, even in small towns, can devote 100% of his time to assure that every nook and corner of the government is on message, including the budget managers, the welfare department, and of course the developers. It's not about protecting the environment, it's about reinventing government for the specific political agenda. ICLEI and others are dedicated to controlling your locally elected public officials to quietly implement an all-encompassing tyranny in every community in our nation. ICLEI will help put those stakeholder councils in place. It's all part of the service. Now, it's a lot of detail. The United States is not a global village run by elders who hand down the rules from on high. We are a nation of governments elected by the citizens. There is supposed to be discussion, debate, and disclosure so that all citizens know where, when, and why any law or regulation is being presented, and then we're to vote on it. Today, however, global forces which do not accept the unique American form of government sneak behind the curtain, avoiding controversy and honest debate. They target unknowing local officials, wine and dine them, and blind them with power and influence. The only possible result can be a tyranny of powerless electorate stripped of their rights, property, and self-determination. Mayors across the nation must be clued into the fact that ICLEI and its ilk are not their friends, rather the purveyors of self-made crisis hysteria using fear rather than truth and logic to impose their agenda of top-down control of sustainable development. The entire agenda of sustainable development is based on the argument of man-made climate change, global warming. But if there is no man-made global warming, as true science is now beginning to prove, then there is no need for the policies that are locking away our natural resources, forcing reduction of our use of energy, and shutting down industries like timber and mining. We all want a clean environment. That's why the United States has spent more than $1 trillion on environmental cleanup. The fact is, we have the cleanest air and water in the world. We have a national commitment to a clean environment. But everything we do to sustain our lives has an impact on nature. From the perspective of human life, a big environmental footprint is an enormous positive. It means better roads, more cars and computers, new factories and power plants and hospitals to assure a better life. Frankly, if you have no carbon footprint, you are dead. But to the environmentalists, the size of your footprint is a measure of your guilt. And I will say it again and again. The policies of climate change and sustainable development are not about a clean environment, conservation, or good stewardship. They are about a policy of control. So as I said when I asked you to ask your elected officials where they now stand on the issue of climate change, their answers will truly tell you what they're really after. A wrenching transformation of our nation away from individual liberty, private enterprise, and private property, replacing it instead with a dark ages of pain and misery. What we are dealing with today is not politics as usual, it's insanity. Elected officials can no longer play ignorant about the policy. It is their duty to represent the people and protect them from the piranhas that are devouring our way of life. And to save it, you must take action now. And understand that the main battle is now being fought today on the local level rather than Congress, right here. So if a local politician utters the words sustainable or community visioning, or looks at your rural neighborhood home scoffing about urban sprawl, he or she is your enemy. Rip their political careers out by their rotted roots. Fire any official who even suggests the creation of non-elected commissions or boards. Stop efforts to create regional governments and leave your political boundaries in place. Refuse federal or state money or new sustainable programs and get rid of the old ones. And if ICLEI is now running things in your town, throw them out. Stop paying dues to them. Disband anything they built and start looking for good grade tar and feather. Nameless, faceless bureaucrats wielding power in the back rooms, untouchable and unseen, is not freedom. This is not a friendly political debate. This is the battle to determine nothing less than the future of our free society. But please know, in spite of all this that I've told you, and all that you know is going on today, we do have reason to be optimistic that we can win this fight. I'm the optimist. The economic meltdown that we are experiencing was brought on in no small part by sustainable development. $4 per gallon gas this past summer helped to awaken a lot of Americans. They are mad and are really ready finally to listen to our message of freedom. I felt this. My job seems to be getting easier. They want change, and we are the only ones offering it. They will learn that very soon. Now is our time.